Hello, good morning to Prof. Dr. Pua Chin Hong. First, I will introduce my group member, which is me myself, the first presenter, Norin. Second presenter will be Priscilla Zimba. The presenter will be Felicia Michelle. And the last presenter will be Muhammad Hazman. Our topic is the impact of COVID-19 pandemic on food panda performance. For the introduction, as we all can see, during this pandemic, Foodpanda is a popular food and grocery delivery service in Malaysia. Foodpanda is a marketplace for mobile food delivery. Foodpanda app's usage has risen up dramatically as a result of the pandemic outbreak. Malaysia internet food delivery sector is quickly expanding. Citizens are very involved when using online food delivery apps, especially now that the new COVID-19 pandemic standards of practice has been implemented. According to Norsita Matnayan and Muhammad Khairul Asmi Hassan 2020, it is help local business that connect with people can help them increase their profits. Prior to the COVID-19 epidemic, technology business has such as GrabFood, Foodpanda, and others had generated a rising trend in Malaysia metropolitan areas. The industry has now exploded as a result of the introduction of MCO. As a result of all these online food marketing activities, a large number of jobs opportunities may emerge. For example, a lot of people lost their job during this COVID-19 pandemic, and those who lost their job can apply to this job or as their side job. Local vendor may also use it to connect with others who can help them increase their earnings. For the background study, our research focusing on the relationship between the performance of food panda affected by number of sales, COVID-19, merchant preparedness, merchant marketing strategies, and convenience during this COVID-19 pandemic. As you can see from the figure here, Foodpanda is the most used app for food delivery orders in Malaysia as of August 2021, with 81%. GrabFood shows the second highest with 70%. Meanwhile, the least used apps is Quicksand with only 1%. The performance of Foodpanda is affected by all these variables. First is the number of sales. During this pandemic, Foodpanda sales has risen up as people are not allowed to go out during the MCO. And the only frontline are allowed to go out. The dependability and effectiveness of delivery company service such as Foodpanda are advantages, and the service must be good, functioning all of the time. Second is affected by the COVID-19 cases. Food delivery service like Foodpanda were heavily used during the COVID-19 outbreak, particularly in Malaysia. Due to the impact of the COVID-19 outbreak, non-cash transaction and food delivery service have become increasingly essential in Malaysia. Customer buying at store also had a hard time avoiding the illness. Third, performance of Foodpanda affected by merchants' marketing strategy. According to Anwar Key and Ahmed 2020, retailers frequently make their online store environment more fun and more appealing to entice more customers to shop online. There have been many studies on the relationship between consumer happiness and business performance for traditional marketing tactics. This shows that merchant marketing strategies does affect to the consumer. For example, discount for a specific time, maybe a lunch hour, standard packaging with a cheap price. Fourth is merchant preparedness. Customer pleasure is determined by customer connection, which is influenced by factors such as perceived quality and value. Food vendors should focus on its service and value. For example, merchants focus on their packaging, delivery on time, delivery target, and so on. Last is food vendors' performance affected by convenience. Many people currently choose to use delivery service, especially when they are under MCO or health safety concerns. Since we are not allowed to eat in a restaurant or engage in recreational activities outside, many people choose food delivery because it allows them to have fresh, healthy food delivered to their businesses or homes while still being able to work. When you're busy at home or work in the middle of the pandemic, food delivery services are a terrific option. Customers can now choose restaurants that are close to them and can deliver the meals in quicker amount of time than those that are far away. Now I pass to Priscilla.
Hi everyone, my name is Priscilla. I will explain on problem statement. So there will have four problem statements in our research. The first one is merchant preference. The second one is merchant marketing strategy. The third one is convenience, and the number 4 is number of sales. The merchant preparedness with the food delivery packaging is the most important factor that can influence delivery restaurant sales. Make sure the product is properly packaged and in good condition to avoid spill. Packaging also can use to be highlight the brand and the business restaurant. Make sure the brand and the concept of the restaurant are clearly marked on the packaging. The second one is the merchant marketing strategy. A seller's marketing approach must be effective. It can take technology innovation to keep the apps new, fun, and exciting. So you can keep your app fresh and interesting with a new in-app feature like a calorie counting, such as a top 10 meal of the week or the best restaurant near you. The third one is convenience. Convenience is Foodpanda merchant can position themselves as a first service for those who miss mom cooking or want to stay at home. Foodpanda can also appeal to those who work late and don't have time to prepare the meal of nutrition and tasty meal that tastes like a home cook. It can connect with customer sentiment and also can increase retention by using your ads again. The last one is number of sales. The number of sales has become the internet has become a tool for the daily customer food consumption. The ability of the service provider to search and compare costs has greatly improved through service provider website and apps. The quality of restaurant and service provider has influenced customer purchasing decision in the online food ordering industry. So this one is the research question. The research question is the goal of this study is to identify the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic on the food service industry on merchant marketing, merchant preparation, convenience, and the number of sales. So we have 4 questions, which is number 1, what is the relationship between packaging, presentation, and consumer satisfaction? The second one is what is the relationship between preparing meal time to performance on delivery service? The third one is what is the relationship between convenience of Foodpanda service and its performance during the pandemic? And the last one is what is the relationship between the number of sales during the pandemic? The objective of this study is to examine the impact of COVID-19 pandemic on food service industry on merchant marketing, merchant preparation, convenience, and the number of sales. So this is the specific objective. The number one is to identify the merchant preparedness of the Food Panda. The second one is to examine the merchant marketing strategy on the Food Panda app. And the third one to identify the convenience of Food Panda service toward the merchant. And the last one is to examine the impact of using Food Panda service against the number of sales gained by the merchant. So, the significance of the study. The significance of study is the study will be useful for the government and developers who are responsible for future planning and developing the property market that has association with the housing price fluctuation in Malaysia. This study is also beneficial for the government and developer to get more information on the property market, and it can improve future property development in Malaysia. The study also suitable for the student and researcher who want to further research for its determinant if housing price can be affected. For the last one, scope of the study. The scope of this study will cover the survey and focus on the performance of Food Panda and Food Panda mission during the COVID-19 pandemic. And this paper was divided into three main chapters. The first chapter was introduction. On the chapter 2, we'll be discussing literature review, and the chapter 3 will have analyzed on the methodology approach we using. I think that's all from me. I will pass to my friend Felicia.
Okay, continue on chapter 2, which will explain on the related theoretical review. Study by Idris of determining factor that influence consumer purpose to use online food delivery service during the pandemic has come to the conclusion that the convenience of online delivery service is the main factor which influence consumer purpose to use it. The result of the analysis show that there is a significant increase of demand for food delivery service during the movement control order. A previous study by Suleiman and Yusra both point out that in order to get customer satisfaction, quality service is the main factor that influence it. Although Suleiman was getting a negative relationship between consumer satisfaction and the delivery service during the COVID-19, but the quality of service was proven to be the thing merchants should prioritize first in order to get customer satisfaction. Another theory by Rahim and Muhammad Yunus, there was a strong positive correlation between consumer satisfaction with the quality of service and food quality. And then even after the end of movement control order, the MCO, the merchants still provide satisfactory service to consumer, meaning that the merchant only need to maintain their quality of service in order to get the consumer satisfaction towards their service. Next is the related empirical review. Empirical study by Liu conducted a survey by using questionnaire and convert it into IS model by taking demographic variable into account. And then meanwhile, a study by Prasetyo has used structural equation modeling to study the element that influence customer satisfaction and devotion in using the online food delivery service. And then study by Matt, Nayan, and Hassan which was using the quantitative method to study consumer satisfaction when using the online food delivery in Malaysia. The results showed that due to the app is defined as user-friendly, this had caught consumer attention for using it. And then they are satisfied with the app, and also the delivery time is acceptable for the consumer. Lastly is the study by Suleiman, who has used the regression analysis to analyze the relationship between the consumer satisfaction and loyalty toward the delivery service during the pandemic, which result was concluded in negative. To conclude our chapter 2, multiple regression analysis model was used in previous study to study the coefficient and determine the determinant of performance of Panda. As for our study, we will studying the relationship between COVID-19 cases, number of sales, merchant preparedness, merchant marketing strategy, and convenience with the performance of Panda before we proceed to the estimation analysis. Thank you. That's all for me.
On the methodology, the researcher focused on the impact of COVID-19 pandemic on the food services industry on merchant marketing, preparation, convenience, and number of sales. To determine the purpose of the research, we will conduct a process of identifying variables, collecting data, identifying methods, and tests will be conducted. There are two main approaches that we use to collect relevant information, which consists of questionnaires, survey, and secondary data collection. The secondary data collection can be collected on the statistical data under Malaysia Ministry of Health, while the questionnaire survey will conducted on the merchants and registered under Food Panda. So the questionnaire design consists of 6 sections. The first section is the filter question. It is to determine the data collection accuracy and validity. The second section is on the demographic. The third section is the merchant marketing approaches. It is to determine how creativeness of the merchants in implying on their food services. On the fourth section is the convenience in using Food Panda. The fifth section is the preparedness and delivery time. And the last section is the number of sales for the merchants. For sample and data collection, the respondents are the merchants that registered with Food Panda. So this we can identify by accessing the Food Panda apps. For the statistic of COVID-19 cases, we will collect the data from the Ministry of Health, Health Malaysia. So our conceptual framework consists of 5 independent variables and 1 which determine the Food Panda performance. The first is the number of sales. Second is the number of COVID-19 cases. The third is the merchant preparedness. The fifth is the merchant marketing strategy. And lastly is the convenience in using Food Panda. Our empirical model of the study, we are using the multiple linear regression. This is because we are using more than 1 independent variable to analyze our findings. On the research method, we will conduct 3 analyses. The first is the descriptive analysis, which will be used to extend the basic feature of the data. For the Cronbach alpha, it will indicate the multiple questions are reliable or not. It will measure how closely the related set of test items as a group. And for lastly, the zero-order correlation is to identify the relationship between variables. Zero-order correlation will indicate correlation between variables has been controlled for in an experiment. The result will indicate either positive or negative relationship between the variables, or if the result indicate 1, it shows that there are stronger positive relationship between the variables. If the result shows -1, there's a strong negative relationship between variables. And if the result shows 0, there are no relationship at all. In our research, we also undertake the practical and ethical issues in collecting our data. So the respondents are free to opt in or out during the questionnaire survey, and we will give the consent note into the questionnaire to seek permission from the respondent. All data collected are confidential and for the purpose of this research and cannot be used for other related research. The other potential problem and limitation of this study, we also indicate that this research is very limited and further research is needed in the future. Thank you.